Hey guys, my name is Matt and welcome to this Programming C# 101 tutorial. As a self-taught developer, I often found that concepts and examples wouldn't always quite click for me until I watched and read multiple sources on a topic. Sometimes you just need to see different examples of the same concept to really get a solid grasp on things and wrap your mind around how things work. So that's why, even though there are probably thousands of programming tutorials on YouTube and some really fantastic channels, I'm making these videos in the hope that maybe I can help at least a few people out there have that aha moment where things finally start to click. I chose C# because it's an extremely versatile language that can be used to write desktop, web, and mobile apps, Windows background services. You can make games using the Unity engine, and it's become increasingly more cross-platform. It is a strongly typed, object-oriented, compiled language, and it runs on a powerful framework called .NET, which provides useful tools and code we can use to help build the applications that we want to build. In addition, C# is most commonly used with Visual Studio, a great IDE or integrated development environment, which provides error checking, code highlighting, and IntelliSense, a context-sensitive list of possible code you can type or have inserted automatically in any given situation. And believe me, you will be very grateful you have it once you see it in action. It is also free to download and start creating, so let's get started. First thing you're going to do, you're going to navigate to visualstudio.microsoft.com. Make sure you pick Visual Studio and not Visual Studio Code. It's good, but we want to use the full Visual Studio. So when you go to download Visual Studio, make sure you choose Community. That's the free version. Once you run the installer, you'll see something like this. If you don't see this, you might see something like this. Just click Modify. Make sure that you choose .NET Desktop Development. This is the module that we need to use to give us all the tools that we need for creating desktop applications and console applications, which is what we're going to be doing in this series. You could do web development, you could do game development, mobile development, but for now, just make sure you at least have .NET Desktop Development chosen and make sure it's installed. And once it's ready to go, you're going to launch Visual Studio. So you just give it a minute here to load up. And you're going to see this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new project. You won't have any recent projects since you just downloaded it. Create a new project. And here's where we can choose from all the templates. Now this is what we selected in the last step in the installer. Based on those selections, these are the different templates that you can use to start building apps. What we're looking for is C# console application. So you can use the search bar up here, type in console, and make sure you pick C# console app. You can see the symbol and says C# right here. Don't choose Visual Basic, that's a different language. We're going to use C#. Hit next. And we can name the project anything we want. I believe it has to start with a letter, and I wouldn't use symbols, anything like that, and no spaces. So let's just name this Programming C# 101. And it's going to save to your user folder, source repos. You could change that, of course. It's going to create a solution that's going to be the same as the project name. That's okay for now. You could check this. For right now, it doesn't really matter, but if you want, we can check that, place solution in the same directory, and hit create. Alright, so after a few seconds, it's going to load up. And pretty much don't worry about just about anything here. This is some boilerplate code that gets created for you when you create the console application template. What we want to do is code in between these curly braces. So you can put your cursor here and hit enter a few times, give yourself some space. And this is what's called a code block. Everything from here to here will execute inside this code block. So just make sure inside of the main code block, we type what we want to type. So we're going to do the classic hello world, which every tutorial has to do a hello world. And all that is we're going to print the words hello world to the screen, and you'll see how we run the application. So in order to do that, we're going to use a command called console. And then here's the IntelliSense. You can see that pop up. So here's all of the things that have to do with console or have the word console in it that I can use in this context. So what we're going to do is hit period or dot, and then we're going to get more IntelliSense. And these are all specific things we can do within this console command. So what we want to use is something called console.writeLine, all right? And then we're going to put parentheses, all right? Inside the parentheses, we're going to put quotation marks. And inside the quotation marks, we could type any text that we want. So in this case, we're just going to type hello world. This will print hello world to the screen. We are going to write the line hello world to the console, which is basically going to be our application. It's a little black window that's going to pop up, and that's going to be our application. Now you can see here this red squiggly means we have an error. If you hover over it, you can see what the error is. In this case, it's expecting a semicolon. To end a statement in C#, we use semicolons. So you place a semicolon there, and it's going to say hello world. So in order to run the application, we can either press the start button up top or press F5. And you see that when we do that, the window pops open and immediately closes. What happens is it's actually executing this line of code and writing hello world to the screen, getting to the end of the application, nothing else happens, and it says terminate and close the window. So one way to get around that is we'll use another console command, but this time instead of write line, we're going to type read line. Now we don't put anything inside of the parentheses here. All we do is just do that. Now when we run the application this time, it's going to hold here. And it's going to wait for a user input of anything. And so if we hit enter, now the application will close. When we hit enter, it's hanging and waiting for some kind of input before it does anything, and then it gets to the end of the application, terminates, and closes down. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to start talking about data types and variables and some pretty cool stuff. So see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching.